What is going on, Plastic Action UK fans? And welcome back to our first episode of Tea and Figs. I hope you're doing well. And I am joined by Tom and Karl for this little bite-sized podcast. How are we, gentlemen?
Good, mate. All good.
Yeah, good, mate.
And yeah, so the first episode, there's no other thing to talk about apart from the YouTube apocalypse. And yeah, obviously you saw that I put up a video just getting all that shit off my chest. And now we're here with the Plastic Action UK boys to talk about what it is we're going to do, as we had some time to talk about it, and what we've learned thus far. And yeah, it's pretty well fucked. In other words, you know, it's not going to be great. As what the horizon is showing us. Everyone's dropping videos, small channels, big channels. Everyone's got their own consensus of what they interpret, of what they think is going on. Or what the only thing is blatantly obvious is that YouTube and the FTC are being extremely vague, and they're doing so deliberately so that they can't be held liable. If they've given us full-blown details on what strict guidelines on what not to do and what to do, and if they then decide to target us after we comply with them, then we can point the finger at them. And that's clearly what they're trying to cover their arse on, as well as throwing us all under the bus. Hence why everyone's running around with different versions of what they think is going on, which makes it very hard to actually take seriously anyone's video about it, unless it's officially from the people involved. And it's quite damaging. But there is, I've seen videos of the FTC guy up on stage on a podium pretty much, and his exact words were, YouTube is a barrel, we're the fish, thus content creators are the fish, and the FTC is the gun. And that's what it means by they're lumping anyone and everyone into it without any distinguishing factor, i.e. you could swear, you could get your bum out, you could do this. If you've got an action figure in your video, it's going in the pool of kids' videos. Does not matter. That's one thing that's absolutely clear. And you know, some channels out there that want to, you know, brave it and ride it out, fair play to them. But unfortunately, that's just little channels like us can't afford 42 grand fine per video. If you can, fair play, but we can't. So yeah, we've been looking at alternatives, and we're just going to see, you know, we're talking over them now. So in terms of everything, we know that the changes aren't going to, the consequences of all this isn't really going to start punching people until about January. They're leading us in with all these, you know, decide whether your channel is kid friendly. If it's not kid friendly or video by video, there is not a single good choice in those options. That's another thing that's pretty clear. It's like going to the polling station and having only two options, and both options both have a gun to your head. It's like declare yourself something that you're not, which is kid friendly, and face a whole new wave of potential lawsuits because no idea what's going to get wrapped up in declaring yourself kid friendly, or declare that you're not and risk being hit by either just a deleted channel or 42 grand fine. There is no easy way out. Both of them are shit, and we can't do either, to be honest. You know, can't call ourselves a kid friendly channel. At the same time, we can't really not, because our content, regardless, is kid attractive. That's the thing. They're extending what they say is aimed targeted to kids to then what may appeal, and that's the vague part. No one's being clear on that part, and that's what they're doing deliberately. Is they're not being clear on that part. And so yeah, I think all this may blow over. They may come along and change their minds, or change everything, or make changes that helps us out, and you know, that puts the fire out. You know, there's an open comment section which you can send in your thoughts and comments to the FTC themselves, and they wouldn't have opened that up to us if they themselves weren't too sure about how to go about with this, and they need further input, and that's why they're asking for our opinion. If they were clear cut in their ways, they wouldn't even give us a chance to talk about it. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to shove a link in the description where you can go and do that. And that's what we can do. You know, it's like, well, what can we do against this to fight? And that's the only way we can fight. But in terms of platforms and stepping away from YouTube, the safest thing for us to do, not sadly, but for the time being, when these changes do take place in January, is we're not going to delete the channel, but we are going to, just safeguarding ourselves, is remove the content, barring one video, which is going to basically tell you where to go and find our content. We're going to keep uploading, of course, but it just won't be on YouTube until we assess the fallout when these changes happen. And I'll be doing the same on Project Private Customs. The channel will remain there, but all the content will be offloaded and will be put somewhere else. So for the time being, whilst we're looking at other platforms, we're going to be uploading new content onto IGTV, that's Instagram TV, as we have a good following there. And so we already have viewers, you know, and it seems to work well. You can see the whole video crystal clear, and it puts it to our Instagram feeds. We're going to upload some to our Facebook too, so you can see new content. If you follow our social medias, we'll be posting directly to them, so you always got something to watch from us, because we love making content, and I'll be doing the same with me on mine as well. But yeah, so going over these new platforms that we've made a list of. What was the list again, Karl? We have before you take us to speak. Yeah.
Cool, mate.
My opening statement has run long enough. I need some input now. I had to get that off my chest.
We had Daily Motion.
Daily Motion. Now, this is one that Karl dropped on me today, actually, and I had not heard of this one. But yeah, do tell us about Daily Motion, Karl.
Well, I've used it a few times to watch various sort of classic films because they've got quite a good library when it comes to things like that. Pros, the rules are less harsh than YouTube, so content-wise, we would get away with more. It's the same layout, so as far as I remember, it's literally they've taken YouTube and they've almost cloned it. So getting used to it's going to be quite easily. It's professional quality videos. I think you can use. I think you can have high definition, but they are for like pro users. So it's a service you buy in, but it's still 1080 resolution, which is still good. I don't think we don't do 4K or anything, do we?
No, not 4K.
So I don't think it will affect us in that respect.
No.
They've got it. The categories is exactly the same as YouTube. So when we're listening, you can find it exactly the same way. Well, I'm trying to think of the. I think the cons is high definition. So if we do choose to go like 4K, we couldn't unless we like paid for it. And the other one is it doesn't have a big US following compared to Europe. I think it's very popular in Europe, but not in the US. That's the drawbacks I can see on the moment from that site. I think you can upload up to 4 gig without being a pro, which is still good. So if we do change it, we can still upload.
Yeah.
Video. So I don't think it'll affect our content that much.
No, it will just mean requiring on some videos, depending on how long they run. We try and keep everything within a 10 to 15 minute window, but you know some videos can roll over into the 20 to 30 minute. We'll just have to try and compress them before uploading. That's be anything, and it's just no hassle. It's just another progress bar to wait for before you upload again. That's literally it.
I think the only con I can think of is it's not very popular. So if we were looking at social media and we're looking at building that way, we probably wouldn't have the following. It would take.
Yeah, I think if you would find that with any platform that you move on to, as they're all, they're underneath the YouTube staple. They're not already, and they've got massive amounts of users. Some do, and obviously they have their own communities on certain things like tech, politics, or anything like that. Yeah. But I think if some have a big following, though, don't they? Some have a big following, some don't. Obviously we run about YouTube has a huge following. Everybody uses it day in day out. I think there are substitutes which are more popular than others. At this point, it kind of goes beyond trying to gain a following. Basically, it's just this is where our content is available. It's there if you want to look at it. Right,
thinking long term, isn't it?
Yeah, long term, that hopefully an audience would build on one of these platforms, depending on what happens in the end with YouTube, whether they fix themselves and we all come back, or if it stays crumbling down and burning. At this time period, moving to another platform entirely, one that's very similar to YouTube, obviously, would be focusing on basically, here's our content, that's where we've uploaded now. It's up to you whether you want to go over there and check it out. So I'm not really worried about building a subscriber count again on that term until we sort of knew what the fallout from YouTube was. It would just be a place to go, a roof over a digital roof over our heads, to be quite honest with you.
So that would be a viable option then, in that respect, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Dynamite. What about you, Tom? What do you think from what you've seen and heard so far?
To be honest, I haven't. I'm leaving where we're going to YouTube at the minute. I mainly only know YouTube out of all of them. So if anything, I'm kind of the test bed on where we're going to be going as to have people even heard of it.
Yeah, I think the thing is though that all these other random like YouTube-ish kind of sites have now been like, oh hello, we're getting some attention now. YouTube are going under, so they're waving their flag. Come to me, come to me, come to me. So I think a toy community is going to follow wherever people go. My only problem is not really a problem. It's just that at this beginning phase of whatever this is happening with YouTube is that we all will scatter. It'll be hard for all to move as
This
one.
is the issue: is that no one's going to be in the same place.
No, we all have different opinions on what's going on, and because YouTube are so vague about it, people are deciding different things, and rightly so. It's up to them. It's their channel. They decide what they should do, what they think is best for them, and we're all just waiting to see what happens when digital nukes fall.
Vimeo seems to be the main one at the minute that people are moving to.
There seems to be quite a few that have said they're going to move to Vimeo, which is again another YouTube-ish kind of site, but you do have to pay for a package in order to upload. You don't have it's free to a viewer to create an account and to view, but if you want to be a content creator and upload, then you've got to subscribe to a particular package, and each package will differ in terms of what it allows you to do and the size of the videos. So that's
if you upload free, it's 500 megabytes weekly content, which is nothing really. But if you upgrade, I believe it, going by what it says, if you upgrade, it's up to 5 gig weekly content, uploaded. So you'd still have to press your files if we were at a few.
And that would be that I looked at the tiers of the packages, and the cheapest one was like 25 quid. And the highest, most expensive, where you get everything unlimited, is like 70 quid a year. And it's a lot, man. It really is a lot. I mean, it costs money to make YouTube videos anyway, whether you're paying for the subscription of a video editing app, or if you're paying Epidemic of Sound in order to get royalty-free content, which I'm doing, all of that. And it's another cost. And we're doing it to the fun. We're not doing it to make the money. It's nice and people get monetized great on them, and that whatever pocket money they get helps to sustain them. But the enjoyment and appeal of becoming a content creator on YouTube is the ability to grow a following, to grow a community, to grow a fan base, and be able to share and interact as well. So that's one of the appeals, and it's a shame that that's sort of being taken away. But the subscribers are there, people are interested, and it's whether or not they decide to, if they want to continue to see our stuff, then whether they go to the place that we direct them to, and that again is up to us. So IGTV, I was wrong about IGTV entirely. You told me you've awakened me.
I think they must have changed it up fairly recently, because I do remember it always just used to be like little clips and.
Yeah, and it always used to be, in terms of recording, portrait mode, where it was kind of like, selfie version. But now, it's in order to play like regular 16.9 scale screen. And the only difference is the thumbnails are still only in portrait. If you wanted to add a thumbnail, it'd have to be portrait version rather than long version. Yeah. It's just fine, it's adaptable. And
can you upload videos from the app?
Say that again?
Can you upload videos from the app? From the
That's the only way to put them on.
Yeah. It's basically instead of
I know you couldn't do that a while ago.
I know what Insta gives you itself just on their story, or if you wanted to put a video on your main feed, it gives you about a minute and a half. IGTV allows you an hour. That's the only drawback. It only gives you an hour, but it does expand it to an hour, and it puts it into IGTV. Your own channel, and you can create different series and have all videos related to that particular series. So like we would have playlists, for figure shooting with Karl or Tom's Dioramas or this, that, and the other. We could still have that. And what it also do, it would not only put it on the IGTV, it would also post it to your main feed, so the whole video will play on your main feed. So people could just scroll up and decide to watch it there and then. It can also, it failed to do so with the best of October, but it can share to the Facebook as well, whatever your Facebook's linked to. But you already did that. I guess that's why it was already on. And the best part is we already have a following on Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's going into YouTube with a 1,000 subscriber count already.
Yeah.
The audience is already there, and I think that's just that penny didn't drop for me until when I uploaded the best of October.
Yeah.
So for sure, that is what I'm definitely going to be doing with some of the content, and I'm almost tempted to keep doing that, regardless of even if we stay on, YouTube or whatnot. It's just another audience, and yeah. So I think IGTV 100% is something to look well into keeping, not just as a backup for the time being, but keeping.
Yeah, it seems like a good option as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. You can put all your content on there. I mean, how often, apart from a podcast episode, which is kind of what this episode's, about, even though it's running a bit long now, but we're going to try and keep these to about half an hour mark, is how often do we put an hour-long video up? It's not that often.
No.
And rarely is it more than half an hour. And the same with me on mine. So the hour slot fits fine, and we can. So yeah, IGTV is definitely a good alternative. Just get content up, and it doesn't. It also puts some excitement back into it with this shit looming over us. So the wind, you're getting some wind back in your sails as a content creator.
And from the website point of view, we've got the Instagram on the main page. It all comes up in the feed, doesn't it? So as soon as Tom puts it on Instagram, it comes straight up on the website, and you just click on that, it takes you straight there. So,
and it's like almost embedded video again. Yeah, it's kind of like it's already there. You got an audience already. You can share it to different platforms, and you can link if you've got a website straight to it, and it will play. Yeah. And the only change up really is the fact that you've got an hour, and your thumbnails have to be portrait rather than letterbox. That's it.
I suppose you could do a part 1 and a part 2 if it was a particularly long episode, and do it that way. Just get around it. There is ways around it, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. And it allows, because I know there's not everyone's got an Instagram account. There's some that won't have it, but most.
But you can link that to your Facebook, can't you? Which it does.
Yep. And so it's there even if you do have Facebook or not an Insta, then it's there. And most people do have Instagram these days, and our following on Insta is growing, and what we're doing over there is great, and the Facebook's really taking off too. And I think IGTV is definitely worth keeping a grasp on.
Yeah, I think it's our best option for now.
No, I think it's well.
I think
to be fair, he's shit hot about getting stuff on there.
Yeah,
but, I'm happy with it for the fact that nothing's changing till January anyway.
Yeah,
but the fact that a lot of people are moving now, gives us a good couple of months to test the water, see where the majority of people end up, see what ones are successful, and then move ourselves over to whatever suits best, really. But in the meantime, we can still keep putting stuff out.
Yeah.
And realistically, it's in our most noticeable place for people to see it.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Perfectly, exactly. Summed it straight up. That's the best place to go to for current content right now from us. I don't know whether the current content that we'll put out will 100% go to IGTV. I'm not sure whether I will put it up on YouTube now until January, where I'll pull everything down because there's still a subscription there. I might do both. There's sort of like a transition. I will put it up on YouTube for now, whilst we've still got some weeks left. Because I'm not, the options that it's given me, I'm not choosing any one of them just yet. If you don't choose one by January, that's when the bots come along and sweep your page and then determine it for you, the machine learning. But for now, I'm not selecting anything, and I won't be selecting anything because it's just there is no good option. And so for now, I'm still uploading as normal. And it will go on IGTV too. And then, of course, once the January hits, then, or just before then, I'll do it in a late December. I'll put everything down. And I even had a thought of maybe putting them to private, just so the vids stay up there, the views stay up there. But
will the bots still find it?
The bots may find it, but it's set to private so that only I can see it, or only we can see it. And I don't know. Again, it's because of that question mark. It's still not worth the risk because it's so fake. No. It's still not worth the risk. So for the meantime,
you could pay the fine on your wages, but I could not on mine.
No. Can you all chip in? Start a kitty, do a whip round, with our homes. It's like no way. No, just a per video that's going to ruin lives.
Yeah,
that will literally ruin lives, and unfortunately, we won't know how badly until we watch some people run into the fire and see how they get burnt. It sounds really bad, and I hope it doesn't scorn anyone. I really don't. But no one knows whether they're making the right decision or not. They're just going with their gut feeling.
Yeah. This is it. But there's still time for it to change.
There is, yes.
Nothing is set in stone at the minute.
No.
If the FTC decides to listen to us with the comments that they've left open for us to share our thoughts, and if they decide to take those things into account, they may adjust their terms so that we've got some level of protection, or at least they'll define it enough to the point where we know then how to tailor our content and adapt.
I mean, they're going to have to, because if nothing else,
they can't really charge us on something that they don't even themselves they know.
But they're going to. They're trying to make YouTube safe for kids, but realistically, all they're doing is killing it for kids. Because my kid watches YouTube all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But both of them do. But my lad especially, he's always watching YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you mark kid friendly now is going to be buried.
Yeah.
Which means the only things he's going to be able to find on YouTube are non-kid friendly videos,
adult related, which are going to get more risque, more out there, and more traumatic on the eye. It depends on how hard it is. I mean, Christ, kids are watching top 10 ghost sighting videos or the Momo thing and freaking themselves out. And,
well, I think that's why YouTube have got YouTube Kids, haven't they? And they're moving to that.
Yeah,
no one's. It's older sibling. And Tom said this right as well, and it makes total sense. And the thing is, I say YouTube are taking this to account. That's what they're throwing. They're not taking any chances. Is because obviously they've allowed these bots to come along and tailor adverts for them. Is that you're not allowed to sign up to a YouTube account unless you're 13 and over.
Yeah.
You know damn well that there's kids with channels doing kid things. They're allowing it anyway because they're lying on their sign up. Or they're using it on their older sibling.
It's the same with everything, though, isn't it?
Yeah, the parents' account.
Facebook, you got kids on there. We've had it in some of the chat rooms. Well, not chat rooms, but some of the groups like ACBA with young kids on there who have got adult accounts.
Yeah,
and you don't realise who you're chatting with until it sort of comes out, and then it gets really twitchy. Then that you know.
Which is why they're not taking any chances and being so vague with it. And of course, in that also reflects the fact that your analytics don't mean shit. Your viewers, and you see the age range of your viewers, it don't mean jack shit whatsoever. They've already said they're not taking into account any of that. They see anything that is child themed in any way in the list that they've given.
Yeah.
going down, or you're going to get punched. So people are hiding behind their analytics really need to get a clue. But the FTC may change things. It's still time. They may listen to us. And who knows, we're all just waiting around to see what happens. But in the meantime, you can find us on Instagram TV. And that's one damn place you will find us. And new content. I say I'll probably still drop videos that I've still got to drop on the platform too, and IGTV as well. But just know that by end of December, all of that will be coming down. And if everything gets sorted, then I'll upload everything back again. You know, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah,
if we're lucky, it might not even get to that point. They may not even come up with something before then. But I mean, they're willing to meet with creators and listen to creators, which is a promising sign.
There's promising sign, definitely. I think they know how I can't even fucking think of the words. Just how big this is, and how they're trying to just put a big padlock around it, and you can't. There's too many factors, and it's too damaging. You do this, you're going to take down half of your content.
But the main thing for me is that they're blocking everything for kids to keep kids safe, and all that is doing is making kids see everything that they can't or shouldn't be seeing.
Yeah,
because that's the only things that are going to be searchable.
Yeah, it's a complete opposite effect.
Like they'll search for Spider-Man toys and nothing is going to come up.
No.
And the only thing that's going to come up on like recommended videos and things like that is going to be stuff that they shouldn't be watching.
Yeah. I've watched one of the YouTube guys, completely random, because this is also affecting like gaming and people who talk about kids' TV shows. It's affecting anything to do with kids. And one of them came out with and said, even made a letter to submit to this comment section where you could submit your thoughts. And he said, kids love furry animals and they love dinosaurs, and so do we. How can you distinguish the two? So if you start targeting, what's next? You're going to start taking down cat and dinosaur videos now because they appeal to kids too. It's like, where's the line? At the moment, YouTube have not set one, and that's how they're trying to stay safe and not get burnt in the arse with another fine. And also another thing is that the FTC said that even if YouTube do put some parameters on, the FTC can come along, disagree with them entirely, and still come after you. And it's like, but the FTC, they're pointing a big gun at us, but they're doing this. They're trembling. It's like, I'm warning you, and we just need them. We just need to do this. Just like, no. Just calm down. Give me the weapon and calm down. So hopefully that happens. We'll just have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. Yeah. So that's really all I've got to say on the matter. I don't know about you guys. Are you all happy with the?
I think that's covered it.
Yeah.
I think that's about it, really, isn't it? It's just a shit show, and just to see which way the wind blows, see if you get covered in it. Yeah. But I don't think we should. Don't take a chance. Don't take the chance of this one. I know there's a lot of people out there going, "This is what's going to happen," but you know what? You don't know.
No one knows.
That's the issue. It's so vague that no one knows how this is going to play out. So you can't really. You can to make up your own determination by what other people are doing by making up the term, like us, like what we're doing.
But if you get it wrong, it's 41K wrong.
Yeah.
And they say like get a lawyer, but it's so vague. A lawyer isn't going to have a clue either.
No.
Like I can read a vague statement just as well as a lawyer, and you're not going to glean anything out of it.
No, YouTube have been so smart on this, and that's a dangerous thing. They've been so smart on this. They want us to. They're forcing us to try and declare us something that we're not, i.e., making us safe for kids. And pretty much they want us to hit that adult only, and then that's how they can make an example. And it's that's what I mean. There is no good outcome on those two decisions, and it's no one really knows, and that sort of thing. We're all just waiting to see how hard they're going to hit us, if they can hit us that way at all, if they're going to be more clear on these things, or if they're going to change their minds entirely. We just don't know. But in that time, what we do know, what we can do, is not take that risk because it's too big a one.
So, but I mean, the other thing that concerns me is the whole change in the terms and conditions, where now if you're not financially viable to them, they can delete you.
Yeah, which makes no sense because you're going to make them they're going to make content creators not financially viable by cutting their ad revenue and or fining them and ruining their lives. So of course they're not going to be. So even my little plan of keeping the channel up but having the videos down, if YouTube does go under, there's a chance they'll just delete it. But at least, we would have hopefully made another platform. That's a worst case scenario. And yeah, they will just come along and delete your Google account and your channel if they feel like you're not doing anything with for the algorithm. And it's just crazy how randomly vague all this is. And so yeah, we don't know what's going on. What we do know is we just can't take the risk on any of it, even if it is a big nothing burger. Just can't be done.
Play it safe for now.
Yeah,
stick to Instagram while we find a new home.
Yeah, so if you're viewing us, if you're a subscriber, please do so. If you have an Instagram account, give us a follow because we'll be hitting you with new, fresh content on our Instagram TV. And that's where you'll find us. That's where you'll find new content. And it will also be going up on our Facebook page. And we will let you know on our social medias when a new video drops. And I'll stick some on the tube as well to keep you going. But just know in January it's all coming down. So yeah, follow us there. I'll be doing the same thing on Project Piper Customs too. And so that is our plan for now. Now you know. So fingers crossed, everyone. If you're a content creator or if you're a viewer, because this is hitting us all, that the FCC, gets a fucking brain and decides not to do this. If you want to scream and shout at them politely, I'll put the link into where you can express your thoughts to them, the comment box where you can send off your opinion on the matter. And good luck to you all. Yeah,
we shall see how it goes.
And that will wrap it up for the first episode of Tea and Figs. And hope you'll be joining us for some more. And that'll be it from me. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Plastic.
Good night, guys.